What is up, everybody? I hope that y'all are having a wonderful expo. We have the famous London controller here. And yes, sorry for my voice. Rhode Island has not been kind to me today. And I woke up and just sounded like this. So yeah, so I asked my buddy here, London, to come and
Lovely to meet you.
Yes, very nice to meet you.
Lovely
Thank you.
to meet you.
Love your streams, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so just got a few questions for you. And so first question is, what got you into streaming and flight simulator?
So I've been flight simming for years. I started in 2008, 2009, not very serious. I mean, I was a little kid. So yeah, I just sort of messed about, done a bit of flight simming, and then I got into VAT sim when I was 13, 14. Back in 2013, and just started controlling. I'd done a little bit of flying as well, but it was mainly the controlling, because that's what I wanted to go and work as. I wanted to be an air traffic controller. I started it up in about 2015, just doing some streaming now and again. I was at school still, so that was my main priority back then. I was a kid, so that didn't last for a crazy amount of time. And then in 2019, I booted it back up just before COVID, while I was doing my university degree. COVID hit, something to do, and now it's just blown up into this massive community, and it's incredible. It's my full-time job now, and I love it. It's brilliant.
That actually happened to me in flying. I was going to school at Middle Georgia State University in Georgia for aviation. I was all the way up to my check ride, and COVID hit and shut the school down. And it was shut down for months, so...
it ruined a lot of people's, plans and what they sort of had for their next few years lined up.
And I had to go get a job to pay the bills because I was on a military GI bill. So they gave me a check every month. That's what paid my bills. So, that kind of screwed me up, but I'm actually going back now. So,
Oh, that's good.
Yep. So where do you see your future going with this?
I think at the moment I only see it going up. I really do. There's days where, or you have your weeks where flight sim doesn't behave and you just don't get on with it, and you're like, this is
flight simulator for the win, right?
Annoying. This is right annoying. But, I only see it going up, and I only see it improving and just getting better week in, week out. The content, the new products that release, it makes it so much better, and it makes it easier. The more things that come out, and see all the announcements from the hardware companies, the developers, and that's what makes my job easier. So I do see it growing, and I intend to carry on doing it full time for a lot of years now. So,
okay. So
it's 6 years in July now. It's been a long time.
That's a long time. That's a long time.
Especially streaming, because it's one of those things that the longevity of it usually doesn't last for the longest period of time. But just people seem to like me.
So where do you see flight simulator, streaming and just the flight simulator in general? Do you see it getting a lot bigger, or do you think it's kind of, a lot of people think it's in a weird kind of place right now, especially streamers?
Twitch is in a weird place right now. So obviously COVID, all of that moved everything right up. Now things have started to go down in terms of viewer numbers. I've been lucky in the sense that mine's just gone up, but the overall pattern has that it's decreased. Flight sim, I do feel it gets bigger. 2024 release, it wasn't the best release. It could have been better in areas, but
it definitely definitely had its issues.
It was painful at times, but
definitely.
I do see it getting better, and like I said, the more releases that do come out, the better it will be. And I do think from Microsoft and the Asobo side, they're getting better and the sim is just maturing. So
okay, cool. So do you fly in IRL?
No,
you do not.
No. Do you know what? I'm quite a bad flyer in real life. I am. So we flew over from Heathrow, and it was like 6.5 hour flight. It was all right for a few hours, then I started getting itchy feet.
I'm like,
gotta
walk around the cabin or something.
So no, I don't fly IRL. I've never done sort of like a GA, or never been up in even a tiny little aircraft, which is crazy, really, considering I do what I do.
I would never have thought of that.
So I mean, my passion and what I've always wanted to do was be an air traffic controller. Maybe later down the line that might turn into fruition, or might turn into learning something. But yeah, I don't think I will be a pilot.
Yeah.
In real
life.
So
how old are you? If you don't mind me.
24.
You're 24. Okay. Well, ATC will take you up till 32.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I think that'd be pretty awesome being an ATC controller, man.
Yeah, for sure. You know, it is something I definitely would want to explore. I feel like I would get to a little bit later on in life and be like, it's a shame I didn't go and explore that at some point. So, but I don't think that'd be anytime soon, just because things are going so well.
Yeah. So I know that I am so sorry for my voice.
Rhode Island is
Rhode Island hit me hard. So I know that you fly and you do ATC and on your stream. So what do you like? Do you see yourself doing more ATC or more flying?
I would say for now, and what it's been for the last few years, it's definitely been more flying than ATC.
Yeah.
You know, the ATCs are very, what's the word? It's very, if you don't know what you're looking at, you can be quite confused.
Yeah.
And where London airspace is so busy, it's so hard to explain everything. You know, you've got to chat 400, 500 people and you try and explain things the best you can, but it's not always possible. So flying is quite, flying definitely, I would say, brings in more viewers than controlling does. I mean, controlling was my bread and butter. That's what I started with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would say flying is the one that gets the more viewers. And I do the controlling as and when I want to do controlling, and I bind it in well with my content. I think people really enjoy the controlling side of things, because I think everyone can learn to fly, but it definitely does take a specific skill set to be an air traffic controller.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely could not do it.
Yeah.
Like,
you have to have the patience of a saint sometimes.
Yeah. Cross Hypyaru, who is going to be here later.
Yeah.
He was telling me just about right here, the Control 3D. He says he does it a lot.
Yeah.
And he said he wants me to come and try it, because I told him, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing on ATC.
Yeah.
Like, I fly that sim. I know what to say to them.
I think as well, like a lot of people with the controlling side of things that I do is, people only see the base of it. There's a whole process going on in your head that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
So it's very sort of intricate and a lot to it.
Yeah, got you. So, how did your team do this year?
Brilliant. I'm not overly impressed with 17th, but I will take it. Europa League win.
I was so told not to talk to you about this. Everybody's like, please don't talk to him about his team.
No, I'm well happy. An awful Premier League finish, but winning the cup.
But y'all got a trophy, right?
That was the best night of my life in 20 years. I watched my team home and away, so to see us lift a trophy was amazing. Last time I saw one I was 7, so it's been a long time.
So how long are you here for?
We flew in on Thursday. We landed Thursday morning about 11, and we do fly back Sunday.
Okay.
Usually we do stay until the Monday, but by the time I get to the end of this event, I'm knackered. I'm ready for my own bed.
Yeah, I know.
I can't be going out or anything
after
like that.
A 16-hour flight or something?
Yeah, it's not as bad because the Vegas jet lag just ruined us all.
Yeah.
But this is not too bad. It's only 5 hours for us, so we're getting a decent-ish amount of sleep.
Well, I was in the military for 10 years, right? And when I did my first tour overseas, it was an 18-hour flight to Kuwait. Oh my God!
Kill me.
I wanted to die.
Yeah,
I did.
I bet.
I was like, please, somebody shoot me. Yeah. Like the jet lag, it was painful. It really was.
It's been okay. I've been getting a decent night's sleep, but by the time sort of 2-3 o'clock rolls around, I've spoke to half the Expo. So tired. Off to the pub.
Well, do you want to go ahead and plug in your channels and everything?
Yeah, I stream 5 to 6 days a week on Twitch. My name on Twitch is London Controller, so please do feel free to drop a follow, get involved in the chat. It's a really, really great community, and it'd be great to have you join in.
He definitely has a great community. I always drop in there when I can. I might not stay too long because I actually have a very strenuous real job. And so
that's it.
I try to get on there even at work. I'll just log onto my computer real quick and be like, who's on? But
that's the standard. Loads of people work from home always.
Yeah.
Pop it in.
So y'all make sure to check out London Controller, and I'm gonna go get a cough drop, and hopefully by the next one I'll be a little bit better. Well, thank you so much, man.
Absolute pleasure.
I
Thank you very
really
much.
appreciate you coming out.
For sure.
All right, man. You have a great expo, bro.
Thank you. Cheers.
All right.
Take care.
All right, what is up, everybody? Hey, welcome back. We have Cross Hypyaru here. So, how you been, man?
I've been good. How you doing, Squirrely?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
I love the outfit.
Thank you.
Absolutely love the outfit.
First time I'm bringing it out in public.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, but it's awesome though.
Yeah.
You know, you're different. You know, and that's what it is about. It's about you being different and everything. So yeah. But so. You want to tell them about your channel?
Yeah, so my name is Cross Hypyaru. I run a series called VATSIM 101 over on Twitch. I've also started doing some uploads on YouTube. And really what I'm all about is teaching you the ins and outs of VATSIM, showing you how it all works, getting over your fears of talking to air traffic control and getting your feet wet on the network. So primarily doing a lot of IFR flying, since that's what's most popular on the network. So, yeah.
So how did you, okay, so y'all gonna have to pardon, the voice ain't got no better. So how did you learn everything, being that, you know, you're not like a CFI pilot or anything?
So I went to school, I went to flight school. It was a 4-year thing that I did at a college that no longer exists. Got my private pilot certificate back in 2009. Got most of the way through my instrument training, ran out of money. So I had to stop that. Then I flew around with the Civil Air Patrol for a little bit, racked up, a little bit of time there. And, a lot of what I know that I share with VATSIM 101 is just information that I retained and refined from my instrument training. So I was, not that I was at the end of the instrument training, but I have all the cross-country time and everything that's required.
Yeah.
It's just I would have to go back and probably start from scratch from a lot of things in order to complete that instrument training. So it ended up being money at the end of the day.
Got you. So that answers the question. Do you fly in real life?
I do. I haven't flown in quite a few years. I do want to get my flight review done so I can get back into it and potentially go back and finish out my instrument training, but I have not touched a real plane since probably 2017.
Got you. Well, my phone keep doing that. So where do you see your streaming career going right now?
So right now I do it as mainly a hobby. So, I'm not necessarily looking to be a big creator. I mean, it'd be cool if I could. But for right now, it's mostly a hobby. I have a day job, a career that I love.
Well, you're pretty well known. Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Especially for this.
Yeah. I've already gotten tons of looks, and I've been out for like an hour in the wild. But yeah, when I retire from my career, I would like to do content creation a little bit more. And again, not necessarily as something as income, but just something that I have fun with and enjoy. That's why I got into it. That's why I stay in it.
Well, that's why we all get into it. If the money comes, the money comes.
Exactly.
But, hey, this is what we're here for. That's the reason why we come to these expos every year, because it's all about the flight simulation.
That's right.
And flying in real life too, So how did you come up with this character and the name? Like, does the name have any significant meaning or anything?
Yeah, so I created the character back in 2015. It's actually modeled after the car that I drive. I drive a Subaru Crosstrek, so that's where the name Cross comes from. The color of the car is called Hyper Blue, so it's a play on words, Hyper Blue Subaru, and then kind of...
Cross Hypyaru.
And it was funny because I was at a car show, and Hyper Blue was first introduced, I believe it was on the Subaru STI, and there was a guy that had one at the car show, and his license plate was Hype with 3 E's. And I'm sitting there, and I said, I could do something better than that. And then that's where I started planning out the name, and that's what I came up with.
Yeah. Well, everybody, this man, if you want to know anything about VATSIM, learning how to read charts and plates and all that, y'all go to this man's channel right here. This man knows everything about that kind of stuff. I need to learn from him. And also, you can go up there and you can throw stuff at him on stream.
You can throw tennis balls at me.
Yeah. You didn't bring them.
They're up in the room. I don't have them down here yet, but we're going to bring them down later.
Yeah, he's actually going to get stuff thrown at his head later on today. It's
going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, that's pretty much what we got, man. Do you want to go ahead and plug in your Twitch and your YouTube and all that?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Cross Hypyaru. I can spell it CROSSHYPARU. I do streams on Twitch Tuesday through Fridays. The time that we start is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which right now is 2300 Zulu. With daylight savings, that kind of changes. But it's 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Tuesday through Friday. And yeah. And then YouTube, I try to upload there as much as I can when I can think of something to talk about. I'm actually working on a video right now that I was hoping to have up before the Expo, but just couldn't really do it. Had some technical issues I had to fight through.
Gotcha.
So within the next week or so, that's going to be up.
Awesome. And he has all kinds of, you have playlists of your, on YouTube, right? Of your VATSIM stuff like
Yeah,
tutorials?
so I have the tutorials that are up there. I also have a couple of shorts. I'm starting to do some short form stuff for people. And then I also upload the Friday night streams that I do. I've been throwing those on YouTube for the Friday night ops.
Gotcha. Yeah, so if y'all want to learn anything VATSIM, go to Cross Hypyaru's Twitch and watch him live, or either go to his YouTube and look at his tutorials, guys. All right, well, thank you so much for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Squirrely. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Hi, everybody.
Good friend and buddy. We've known each other for years now, and been going to expos for a long time. And I hope to see you at the next one, man.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Talk to you later.
All right, take care, brother.
All right.
Bye.
All right, guys. Hi. Mr. Lost His Voice Squirrely is back. And we're here with the very famous Moosestaffa. How are you doing today, buddy?
I am doing great. It's so fun being here. I love FS Expo. This is the highlight of my year. So I'm on cloud 9 every time we're here. So.
Yeah. So one of my questions is how do you feel that you have been hosting the FS Expo for the past 2 years, and are you now going to be the face of FS Expo?
I have no idea. It's always an honor to be able to do that. Evan reached out to me 2 years ago for the Houston show and asked if I would kind of help co-host that with him, and that was an absolute honor. And I've moved some stuff around my schedule to make sure I could do it, because at first I had a conflict, and it's become a thing. And so I got to do it last year with the panel and make it kind of my own. This year it was just me, and I reached out to Evan in the probably February or something like that, and just said, hey, no pressure if you want to go in a different direction, but I'm available if you want to do that. He reached out back and said, oh yeah, absolutely, come back and do it. So I don't know.
You do a good job of it.
I appreciate that. So I don't know if it'll be an ongoing thing. I'm happy to do it. I tell Evan every year, I'm here for whatever you need for the show, because all credit to Evan and Phil. This thing is amazing. It's exploded into what it is.
It is literally huge this time.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, this is not their full-time job. Evan is an airline pilot. Phil, I don't know what he does, but he's got a real job. This is like, we do it for a hobby. That's kind of this. I mean, obviously they're getting paid to an extent with the FSA and stuff, but they're running the FSA. The FSA is putting this on. It's an incredible amount of work that these guys do, and I don't feel like they get nearly enough credit for this, because I think most people think this is their full-time job, and it is not.
So my next question is, what I need to figure out how to talk. There we go. Let me figure out how to talk there.
That's good.
What got you into flight simming and streaming?
So flight simming, I was just talking to somebody about this. Aviation has been a passion of mine since probably junior high. And I discovered, I kind of awoken that with a game called A-10 Attack Cuba way back in the day. I think it was for the Mac. And I discovered I enjoyed not only flying, but I enjoyed kind of like flying the C-5s around, not so much the military mission stuff. So when I discovered I think it was FS-98, I really got into that. Got into, aviation just kind of exploded. I ended up going to try and get my pilot's license when I was just out of high school, solo cross country, the whole thing, but ran out of money because my car died. And I needed the car to go to work. I couldn't take the plane to work, so it was a matter of priorities. And then 9/11 happened, and it changed the real world aviation landscape. Everything got locked down. Everything was harder barrier
Yes.
to entry. And where I used to be able to drive on the airport property and just watch airplanes, you couldn't do that anymore, obviously, after 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day,
Yeah.
you didn't have to have a ticket to get back to the gate.
Yeah, you could walk back to the
You
gates
could
and
walk
watch
all back and go to the shops.
I'd go to the airport all the time and watch
Yeah.
it from the terminal. You couldn't do that anymore. So
Yeah.
it really changed the real world landscape of aviation. And at that point, I kind of pivoted in my real world pursuit. And I was going to go into teaching. That kind of fell through. I ended up working at the church. And they offered me full time, and I've loved doing that ever since. But Flight Sim has been there to really scratch that aviation itch. And as far as getting into streaming, in 2017, I remember seeing other people stream, going, who would watch live streams? Like, this is stupid. Go play the game yourself. Like,
Yeah.
who watches other people game? I just thought it was dumb. And until I couldn't find anything on TV. I watched some kid, probably 15, 16-year-old, trying to fly a 737 and having problems with some failure. And I'm in there texting on my phone, trying to troubleshoot with him. And at the end of it, I was like, that was really fun because it was interactive.
Yeah.
And that's when I went, okay, I can see the value in this.
You get it now.
If you can be interactive. And I thought, I'll try my hand at this, and here we are.
Yeah, so you like that, at that point you was like, okay, I get it. Now I know why people do this.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. So, with that said, what you said about trying to fly in real life, do you still go up IRL?
No, and so because I work at a church, it's not exactly the most lucrative money. We're doing God's work, so we're not getting man's money. So
Yeah.
So as a result of that, it's never really seen. Unless I was going to somehow make it a career, I kind of went, there's no way I'm be able to afford that kind of a hobby with real world aviation. And thanks to streaming, I can afford to be fairly robust with my flight simming. Yeah. And so the income that brings in, I'm able to put it into hardware and software and things I can show off on the stream and stuff like that. So, so that's been really cool. And then it's afforded me, I mean, if it wasn't for getting into streaming, I would not be in the position that I'm in with, Evan and Phil and doing the hosting. I mean, that is all because of that. Yeah. And so, when I first came to Flight Sim Con, the last one in Bradley, before it became Flight Sim Expo. Yeah. I started streaming like 2 weeks before, so brand new. And I thought this was amazing just from a Flight Sim nerd kind of thing. And now, because of the streaming, because of coming here so often, because of all the friends I've made in the community, coming here no longer, I mean, this is cool, but it's a family reunion for me. This is amazing. Yeah, that's the same here with me. This is my third one, and I definitely come here for the Flight Expo, but I come here for the people. Yeah. Oh, that's literally my number one thing. Yeah. And my number two is to see what I can buy. Is anybody selling anything? Which is a dangerous thing in an environment like this. Yes. But very unfortunate. Nobody's selling anything this year. Well, there is a booth that is specifically selling hardware. But Windwing is not selling anything. That was my main one that I wanted. Yeah. A lot of them. However, caveat to that, I don't know if this will be the case this year. Last year, they ended up selling a lot of their show stuff at the end. Yes, I bought a lot of it. So I did. I bought a lot of it. So they might do that again. I don't know. I had to go and get a whole nother suitcase, and I bought all this stuff. I went and got another suitcase and put it all in, and then Yeah, I bought one of their rudder pedals last year. Thankfully, I had driven to the Expo, so it just went in my trunk, and I'm like, sweet, I can do this. Yeah, no, I had to pay extra baggage to get it home. So my next question is, where do you see your career in flight simming, streaming, hosting? Where do you see that going now? So I don't ever see my career as a streamer or that in any more capacity than a hobby. I mean, it would have to take off astronomically to change that. I really like what I do IRL, the church, and it's and I try to bring some of that into my stream from a religious standpoint because I'm not shy about my faith. Yeah. And a lot of the stream space is we don't talk about politics, we don't talk about religion, and I think I'm missing opportunity from a Great Commission standpoint if I don't share my faith. So I'm very open about that and try to make it a welcoming space at the same time. We don't want to be hateful to anybody, but I'm not going to be shy about my love for Jesus Christ. So. And you shouldn't. And at that point, and that may limit me from, becoming this giant thing, and that's okay, because it's not about me, it's about him. Yeah. So, but in that, I can still do stuff like this and be involved and have a role. And again, it's an absolute honor and pleasure. It's not about me. It's super cool to walk around and have random people be like, Moose, like, I don't know who you are, but that's awesome that you know me. Like, I never in a million years would have dreamed.
Well, you know, that's funny that you say that because, and no, this is not me complaining. So I get here this year.
Yeah.
Everybody knows me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the heck are y'all in my streams? Like, I don't.
There's
like,
a lot of lurking people.
Like,
they don't want to talk.
Like y'all don't watch my streams, but you know me. Like, you know.
Right.
But
and funny story. So this is Orlando. This is the second FS Expo, and I was walking around with a guy, a Gong Show kid. I don't know if you've seen him. He hasn't been streaming as much lately. He's got IRL aviation stuff going, and so he's backed off. But we kind of really hung out that second year. It was great because, you know, I was just kind of burgeoning as a streamer. He was already pretty well known, and between him and John Fly, both those two guys were great. But we're walking around.
I miss John Fly.
I know.
God, I miss him.
He was a great guy, and so we'd love to have him back. But you know, family and real world.
Yeah.
So, but we're walking around the show floor, and this kid comes running up to us, and he's like, "Have you guys seen Chewy?" And we're both streamers. Like, so I look over. I was like, "Oh yeah, he's right over there." And this kid does an about face and makes a beat. I mean, he's running like this guy's gonna cure cancer.
Like he's gonna tackle Chewy.
Oh, it was hilarious. We just both being a Gong Show, and I was streaming it as I was filming the floor, and we just looked at each other like, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah.
So the goal is to be that kid famous, you know? Like,
yeah. I think that's all of our goals.
Yeah.
Like,
and obviously it's not about that, but it's
no,
cool
it's
when
definitely
you get
not.
those kind of reactions.
We want it. If we get it, we get it.
Yeah.
If not, we're gonna keep doing what we do.
That's right, exactly. At the end of the day, I do flight simming for me.
Yep.
If I can share it with everybody else, that's great. I was talking with a guy last night that was sharing how it's been instrumental for him watching my streams to learn how to do a bunch of stuff. And it's stuff that you don't hear about as a streamer all the time. We're just doing it, we go, this is repeating, is this even exciting for people? And there are people that are following along going, oh, that's how he did that, that's how he did that. And it is making an impact and a difference for people, even when we don't see it. And that is encouraging to come to a place like this and hear that.
Yes, definitely. So, all right, so the last thing here, somebody's missing. Where
he's
is
not
he at?
missing. He's actually sitting over here.
He is over there.
He's
okay.
right over here.
There he is. There's Gormy.
He does not get a pen. He's got the wrong badge.
And he's got the badge and everything. Right. Everybody knows Gormy. So we got to ask some questions.
Yeah.
Is Gormy an alien?
No, Gormy is a cat that has had a rough life.
You know what? I was going to say that. He looks like Garfield's son that has just had
it's
very
gone off the rails. This is what happens when teenagers rebel and they never come back. He has had one too many drinks. I don't know if there's drug use in there, but it's something.
You know what, though? Even as famous you are, I think he's more famous than you.
Well, he stole the show in Houston.
Oh, yes,
far.
he did, yes.
And that was a total accident. In fact, we got him, found it on Amazon, and there was the comment section. That's where his name comes from. The comment section on Amazon about this guy was hilarious because people are like, it's basically a Chinese knockoff.
They were just saying random names.
It was random stuff. People were going in and like making lore in the comment section about, like, you know, at wintertime, Gormfield comes, and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, that's hilarious. So my brother, 6 months later, got it for me for my 40th birthday as a gag gift. And I was like, this is amazing. He just looks terrible. Like, this is awesome. But it was right before Expo, and I thought, would it be funny to take him to Expo and like travel vlog him? Like, I'll take pictures on the plane. And so by the time I got to Expo, people had been following it on Discord, and I had him sticking out of the top of my backpack, and I was hearing people going, oh, there's Gormfield.
There's Gormfield.
And so, and the staff at the flight museum were fantastic.
Yeah.
I went up to her on Sunday and said, hey, you know, she was following the Discord too, and I said, if this isn't okay, no pressure. But I've been taking this guy around doing some travel vlog stuff, and she goes, oh yeah, no, Gormfield, we've been following.
Yeah.
And I said, would it be possible to like get him on some of the exhibits? Because it's all roped off. And stuff. Get him on some of the exhibits and take pictures. And she just lit up. She's like, yes, let's do it. So she's taking me behind the ropes, and we're putting him up on the Corsair and in the shuttle cockpit, and It was fantastic. So
Oh,
they were
man, that's
great
awesome.
At the
Yeah.
staff there. It's a shame that we're too big for that venue now because
Yeah.
it would be amazing to go back. That was
Oh, yeah,
one of the coolest shows because
I really feel that Houston was the best for the Flight Expo.
It was so
Vegas
good.
was the best for all of us to get together.
Yes.
You know, but Houston was amazing.
Yeah.
We were at the Houston Aviation Museum. Had all kinds of old planes, war planes, stuff like that.
You talk about an aviation nerd's dream.
Oh, man,
to have
it
an
was.
Expo.
It definitely
You know,
was.
You're sitting there looking at tech, and then there's a real Corsair sitting right
Yes.
there, and everything else. The one guy brought his Vision Jet in. They had that in the hangar.
Yeah.
And
then we had, I think I saw him earlier, Flight Chops brought his RV-10 in.
That's right.
Yes. Yep. So, well, guys, you want to go ahead and plug your channel in?
Yeah, so you can find me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Moosestaffa. That's Moosestaffa. There is an S after the E. A lot of people, the AI can't pronounce it right. They call it Moosestaffa, and that's wrong. And Sim Caesar bugs me about it too, but it's Moosestaffa. It's to say it's 2 words.
Or either call you Mufasa.
No, yeah, you tried to do that earlier. Of course, I was late, so that's
Yeah.
But Moosestaffa, and you can also find me if you search it on YouTube. It's actually the Flying Moose is the handle, but the name is now Moosestaffa. Someone has the actual URL Moosestaffa, and he doesn't even post anything. So I need to find a way to claw that over. But I do tutorials and stuff over there. So, but find me there. Find me on Discord. Join the community. It'd be great.
Yep. Well, Moose, I appreciate it, man, and always a pleasure being around you, man. It always is.
Thanks for having me do this. This was awesome, and thanks for sponsoring the Creators Lounge.
I appreciate it, and anything to help, man.
Yeah.
Anything to help.
Appreciate it.
All right, well, y'all make sure to go check him out on Twitch, and do you have a YouTube too?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, YouTube too.
Well, yeah.
So make sure you check out
Streaming
Moosestaffa.
on Twitch, just videos on YouTube. So.
Got you. Well, all right, Gormy. We'll see you later, buddy. All right,
Wake
man.
up.
I'll talk to you later.
All right, see you,
Have a
man.
good one.
You too.